Today on Public Eye News, Bay College and Escanaba area schools responded to reports of sexist comments made towards students, and later options for free birth control are now available across the UP.
Coming up, I will have your Public Eye Sports Report. Stick around because Bradley Seaborg will bring you the weather forecast for the next couple of days. I'm Austin Graham.
And I'm Liam Euland-Joy. You're watching Public Eye News. Continuing our coverage of the unauthorized depletion of Forest Lake by the Autrain Dam owners, Renewable World Energies, LLC, which licenses the property, has issued a response to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. FERC mandated RWE to bring an end to the depletion of Forest Lake and make their dam property safer. RWE, in its response, said it is unable to comply with the Commission's demands due to a net loss totaling $140,000 this year. They also mentioned that the proposed sale of the land has not progressed due to a mortgage with Stevenson National Bank and Trust. The bank is hoping to foreclose on much of the land and then sell it to the Michigan DNR. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission was unable to provide Public Eye News with a comment at this time. And Escanaba area public schools have issued a public statement on alleged sexist comments made against students from their district. The comments were allegedly made on the Bay College campus in Escanaba. EAPS said they are providing support to the involved Escanaba students, but they cannot investigate students from outside institutions. The incident also prompted Bay College authorities to make a statement of their own, saying they are investigating the situation in conjunction with Escanaba Public Safety. The statement also encouraged any students who feel discriminated against or harassed should report it to any Bay College staff member, report online, or call 800-211-2001.
The women's soccer program at NMU has announced the completion of locker room renovations that totaled $10,000. New lights, a sound system, cabinets, and food preparation space were some of the larger upgrades. A new mural, plaques of achievements, and wall decals have also been installed. Additionally, the coaching staff created a set of 11 core values called the Starting 11, which are displayed in the locker room as well. Current player Angelina Paratano expressed that she feels, quote, incredibly appreciated and supported by our community, end quote. It took over 85 donors to help fund and support this project. And Northern Michigan University is the latest of 9 schools to receive an Innovation Investment Grant. The initiative, backed by the state legislature, awarded NMU over $900,000. The funds come from the Michigan Center for Adult College Success, which seeks to increase post-secondary education opportunities, especially among adults over the age of 25. Competency-based programs, including work-based learning, will be supported through the grant. Some funding will go towards the advancement of short, skill-oriented classes, also called micro-credentials. Northern will also look to create a digital certificate program that tracks progress of both credit and non-credit based learning. And it's far too late in the year for baby birds to be outside, but that's exactly what was discovered by the Minnesota Wildlife Rehab Center last week. WCCO's Lisa Meadows went to see the rescue operations firsthand. Take a look.
It's been a busy year for the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center of Minnesota. Yesterday, they passed a record 21,000 patients, including this late-season mallard duckling.
So he is actually 167 grams right now. He came in under 50 grams and now he is 167 grams. So he has tripled in size in only 10 days.
A concerned citizen brought him in after finding him abandoned last week.
I have to admit, I didn't think that it was true when they said, oh, we have 2 baby mallards.
That's because this is a record latest hatchling.
It's either the 3rd or the 4th latest duckling hatchling in the state of Minnesota on record.
The center had the previous records as well, admitting clutches of mallard ducklings in December of 2016 and 2017.
Do you think weather could have a possibility impact?
We don't know. I think that's too broad to understand and to know that we could say like this is the exact reason why this happens. We also had a grebe baby come in. Was a tiny little chick pipe-billed grebe that came in September. That's way too late.
The grebe has since been released, but they still have their hands full with other feisty fowl like this cardinal.
Didn't want to fly, it was kind of like head trauma. So I like to see that she is perching, that she can gain height and fly around and evade when I am going to capture her.
But now she's well on her way to being released. In Roseville, Lisa Meadows, WCCO News.
Now don't touch that dial. After this short break, Austin Graham will have your Public Eye Sports Report. You won't want to miss it.
After 50 years, the Maple Theater is closing its doors.
If you've ever dreamed of owning a drive-in movie theater, the Cherry Bowl of Honor, Michigan is up for sale.
Town officials said they were taken back to learn the storied State Theater in Bay City has filed for bankruptcy.
You're driven by what you can't have. You're driven by something that has been taken away from you, you want to get it back. I was denied that movie theater.
Welcome back. I'm Austin Graham, and this is your Public Eye Sports Report. Starting off on the ice, the Detroit Red Wings took down the Pittsburgh Penguins 3-2 in an OT thriller. The Wings opened the scoring early on in the second period with Jonathan Berggren and Patrick Kane lighting the lamp for Detroit. Pittsburgh responded with 2 goals of their own, courtesy of Brian Rust and Anthony Beauvillier. The game remained in a 2-2 deadlock through the third period, sending things to overtime, where Simon Edmondson snapped a wrister past Alex Nedeljkovic for the OT winning goal. Detroit snaps a 2-game losing streak heading into their game with the Anaheim Ducks tomorrow night, with puck drop set for 10 p.m. And speaking of games that went to overtime, the Detroit Pistons fell to the Milwaukee Bucks 127-120. Giannis Antetokounmpo dropped 59 points on the Pistons, his second highest single game total of his career. Giannis went 16 for 17 at the line, racked up 14 rebounds, and tallied 7 assists in Milwaukee's 18-point comeback in the second half. Detroit's Isaiah Stewart was assessed a flagrant 2 foul and ejected in the third quarter after pulling Antetokounmpo down by the jersey, halting the Pistons' momentum for the rest of the game. The Pistons will be back in action on Friday night as they cross the border to take on the Toronto Raptors. And keeping things on the hardwood, the NMU women's basketball team is set to open the 2024-25 season at home this weekend in Vanderbilt Arena. The Wildcats will play host to Minnesota Crookston on Friday and Bemidji State on Saturday. Sarah Newcomer had 14 points with quadruple three-pointers in NMU's game against Lewis University, leading the team in scoring with 11 points per game. Northern will be without recent graduate McKaylee Kuhn this season, the program's all-time leading scorer. J.C. Weisbrod seems to be the go-to candidate to fill that role, as she averaged 12.7 points per game last season and led the GLIAC in three-point shooting. Tip-off for both games will be at 3 p.m. That's all I have for the sports update. Back to you at the desk, Liam.
Thank you for that sports update, Austin. But now it's time for some more news, starting with this. The Michigan DNR is accepting applications to join its Snowmobile Advisory Work Group. The SAG is made up of 7 volunteers who each serve 4-year terms and contribute volunteer time. State Motorized Trails Program Specialist Jessica Roars said the group, quote, collaborates with the DNR's Trails Program staff to discuss and implement the sound management of recreational snowmobiling throughout the state, end quote. It meets in multiple locations each year. If you are interested in joining, applications are due by January 15th and can be filed online with the DNR. The next Marquette meeting of the SAG will be held on December 5th at the Hiawatha Land Snowmobile Club from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. And Governor Whitmer has announced that free contraceptive resources are now available at hundreds of locations statewide. That includes the UP. The resources are part of the Take Control of Your Birth Control System, a partnership between the Office of the Governor and the MDHHS that also provides STI prevention supplies. In addition, the program has information for uninsured people. Their guides offer a path to applying for Medicaid and coverage through the Plan First program. Whitmer said of the Take Control of Your Birth Control project, quote, everyone deserves the freedom to make their own decisions about their reproductive health, end quote. The program was initially announced in October. Locations providing birth control resources can be found at the michigan.gov website. And a new report shows inflation is moving up slightly after dropping for months. CBS News' correspondent Kelly O'Grady looks at the reasons why and what it could mean for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Housing costs, including higher rents, helped push up overall inflation. In October, consumer prices rose 2.6% from a year earlier. That's up from September's 2.4%.
The most important item in most people's budget is the cost of housing. So if that's increasing, that pushes upward pressure on inflation.
Mark Zandi is the chief economist at Moody's Analytics and says there's good and bad news for holiday travelers. Airline ticket prices rose 4.1%. However, average gas prices are down about 28 cents a gallon compared to last year. And prices at the grocery store continue to moderate, up just 1.1%. Thanksgiving turkeys are expected to be a little cheaper in many places, and potatoes are down slightly compared to 2023. But the CBS News price tracker shows several items, including eggs and frozen orange juice, are still way up from before the pandemic.
I think more about what I'm buying, and I compare prices.
I do look, and I check prices.
The Federal Reserve wants inflation at just 2%, but that is expected to take time.
The inflation numbers don't move in a straight line. They go up, they go down all around in a given month, but the trend lines are still moving to lower inflation.
President-elect Trump has vowed to reduce inflation, though many economists warn his proposed tariffs on imported goods could lead to higher prices. But those policies will need to be implemented first to measure the impact on the economy. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
And stay right there. Bradley Seaborg will be right back with your weather update. Stick around.
On the next Media Meet, a special two-part look at Indian boarding schools and the government's century-long practice to Americanize and assimilate Native children. We will hear first-hand accounts from survivors of a Michigan boarding school, talk about the legacy of trauma that remains, and see whether it is possible to move beyond the pain. Indian boarding schools, the history, the heartache, the healing, is next time on Media Meet.
Welcome back. I'm Bradley Seaborg, and this is our Public Eye Weather Report. Taking a look at the roof cam here on campus, we've got some clouds in the sky, and it's overall a pretty gloomy day. Taking a look across the peninsula at our visibility map, we can see intense heavy fog coverage on the western end of the Upper Peninsula. It should make conditions pretty treacherous out there tonight. Taking a look at the temperatures and conditions across the UP, we've got cloud cover over most of the peninsula, sun peeking through in a few spots, and temperatures in the 40s. Starting in Houghton at 48, 49 in Ironwood with a little bit of sun, 46 in Iron Mountain, and 49 in Menominee. Taking a look at our east end here, Escanaba is 48 and 48 in Manistee as well, 46 in the Sioux and in our beautiful Marquette. Taking a closer look at those current conditions, we got some cloudy skies, winds out of the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 29.92 inches and steady. Looking towards tonight, more cloudy skies, a low of 41, winds out of the east at 5 miles an hour, and with 98% illumination, the moon phase will be a waxing gibbous. Looking towards tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, a high of 50, a low of 37, and winds out of the north at 5 miles an hour. Looking at our weekend forecast, Saturday, a high of 50, a low of 43, some partly sunny skies throughout the weekend, a high of 52 on Sunday, a low of 37, and on Monday, a high of 49 and a low of 38. That's all I've got for the weather report. Back to the news desk.
Well, thank you very much, Bradley, for that weather update there. Liam, it seems like it's going to be kind of a gloomy couple of days coming up here in Marquette.
Unfortunately, I'm looking forward to good old-fashioned snow. But Austin, I hear you have another story for us today.
Yes, I sure do. So here in Marquette, the winter hours take effect for all city parks beginning tomorrow. And while parks will now be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., the Presque Isle Loop will be for foot traffic only. The loop will reopen to motor vehicles here in the spring. So I got to ask Liam, do you visit Presque Isle very often?
I certainly do. It's one of the best parts of the Marquette area. Earlier this season, I saw the Northern Lights there. But that's all the time we have left today at Public Eye News. I'm Liam Eulenjoy.
I'm Austin Graham.
And we'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.